This weight loss journey is about Gino and his cousin Nico, but we'll start with Gino. Gino has no idea what he weighs. He wakes up every morning feeling like he lifted an entire planet before going to bed. He is aware that his body is giving up on him, but has no idea what to do about the situation. Will Dr. Now be able to help him through his weight loss journey? Let's find it. His story starts like this.
What hurts on my body the most is probably my back, knees, and feet. Overall, my back is the worst. Honestly, the most difficult thing about my day is probably taking a shower. Walking up the stairs feels like I'm carrying cement bags under me and I'm trying to lift them all up the stairs.
Jeez, he looks like an overinflated ball. What was Gino thinking, allowing himself to become this fat? Wow. He even goes on to say that the most difficult part of his day is when he has to take a shower. I would hate myself if I were to be in his shoes.
I just want to be full. And don't tell my mom, but I make the best eggs in the house. She's a good cook, but she's not me. I did go to culinary school, so I do know what I'm doing. But she, of course, still treats me like a little kid. I've been living with her off and on for 31 years now.
I can't be the only one who saw the amount of eggs he cracked and is about to fry. That's enough to feed a family of 8. I very much doubt this dude wants to be better with the way he eats. He can't even stand for 20 minutes without sweating and feeling like he is going to pass out.
Because I was heavy, my mother was heavy, my grandfather was heavy, and so was his father. So he was getting it no matter what.
I'm grateful for her, but my mom aggravates me sometimes. You want me to do them? Because the 4 can't fit in that pan.
I'm doing just fine.
It looks like we now know where his problem started from. Genoa's mom has always allowed him to eat whatever he wanted in whatever quantities. His mom even says that obesity has always been their family thing, so she's not surprised her son is this big.
Growing up, me and Gino, everyone always thought we were twins. We look a lot alike, and we've always been hefty. We always been by each other's sides. Like, he's my best friend. I love him. He's always been my best friend. He's my wingman.
Nico and I would have eating contests and stuff like that.
Jesus, that's a lot of food. And he actually intends on eating all of that? I am speechless. If only Gino had Dr. Now as his dad. There is no way on earth he is going to be this big. Dr. Now would most definitely not allow it.
It became something I needed in order to feel better emotionally. By the time I was in the 4th grade, I was already 200 pounds. So after I got divorced, Mom ended up getting full custody of me and my sister. I did see my dad a little less. It was much different. The only constant was food. And by the time I was 13, I weighed almost 300 pounds.
Who wouldn't feel that type of way? Imagine not being able to fit into the desk that everyone fits into. That has to be the most embarrassing thing ever. What's even mind-blowing is the fact that he was already weighing 200 pounds as of when he was in high school.
After culinary school, I got a couple different jobs in a couple different kitchens. But I wasn't able to keep anything for very long. It was like the bigger I got, the more the kitchen couldn't hold me. And I just kept getting bigger. And then I suffered a really bad workplace accident where I blew out my knee on the job.
Did he just say there's no MRI machine that can feed him? Oh my goodness. It's even more annoying knowing that he has a problem with his knee and he still keeps eating so much. If he loves himself, he needs to see Dr. Now as soon as possible.
In my family, we never ran out of food.
Here's cereal, your kind that you like. You ate the whole box I got you the other day? Oh, look at this strawberry fluff.
Yeah, I actually want this.
I actually want to try this.
This is just so annoying to listen to. It's as if his mom is the major reason he is this big. She never tells him no. Every time he wants something to eat, she always gets it for him. Does she know that lifestyle is killing him?
Nice, you didn't break the car or the curb, nice.
Gino, your bag's over there.
To get to Dr. Now on time, I have to do at least 8 hours a day. And that's a lot, but I'm hoping that once I rest...
Honestly, she should know better than to do that to him. I mean, that can't be surprising. Gino finally agrees to see Dr. Now, but it's a long drive to Houston. A couple of hours into the trip, he has to take a break because his back and spine feel like they are about to split into 2. I hope he makes it to the hospital.
I'm really excited.
We go, Juice.
I'm really excited.
We go, baby.
I'd like to meet him.
Oh, I'm nervous.
How old you guys are nervous?
There's one here and one there. Oh, no.
Well, this is the first day of the rest of your life.
After 6 days on the road due to Gino's condition, the family finally made it to the hospital. Those 6 days were the longest and most painful 6 days of Gino's life because all through the trip, his back felt like they were going to give up on him. Oh well, let's see what Dr. Now has to say.
I'm a little nervous because it's been a long time since I went and weighed myself. I don't want to see a huge increase in my weight. I think it's over 600.
Your weight is 684. And then we're gonna go to room 5 now.
Damn, that's a pretty high number.
Ouch! Like he said, that's a pretty high number. Gino finally checks his weight after a long time, and he apparently weighs almost 700 pounds. That's a lot. What scares me is the fact that he might not be able to find the strength and courage to lose all that weight.
And you, the cousin, don't think I'm forgetting you in this. Together with each other, how often you do that?
A lot. Every day. We have that deep culture of eating bad foods and just the bad habits.
Just because the food is there doesn't mean you have to eat it.
Right.
Dr. Now tells them that they need to cut down at least 60 pounds before he considers both Gino and his cousin Nico for weight loss surgery. I love how Dr. Now did not skip his cousin Nico. At least if Nico agrees to lose weight, it's going to be enough motivation for Gino to also lose weight. Let's see how they do.
There is cheese in here, but I don't think it's cheese for you.
It's fine. Just give me a couple pieces.
But you can't use that cheese. It's not the low-fat one.
I understand that, but I wouldn't go over calorie if I use a slice. This isn't Russia. Mealtime with Mom, she keeps telling me the same thing over and over. And
Gino's mom is getting frustrated at the fact that her son doesn't want to follow the strict eating habit Dr. Now gave him. Every time she tries to tell him that he can't use a certain ingredient to cook, he just gets upset. Does he even want to meet his target?
see how strong the bench is. Hope it's strong enough. Oh, yeah. I was holding this boat's pretty nice.
This is strong.
Nice.
This thing's very strong. Just think, you were breathing harder than you are now walking to the bathroom a couple weeks ago.
At least, Nico is helping him in other aspects of losing weight. Nico believes that his cousin Gino is starting to shed weight, and that's a good sign. It's really nice to see that they're both doing what's good for their health. Hopefully, they keep it up.
Your weight is 629.
Yeah, baby.
Can step down?
That's pretty impressive. I mean, he is 5 pounds short of his target weight, but it's very impressive that he was able to lose some weight. Looks like he might be cut out for it after all. Is Dr. Now going to be impressed with his results?
Again! But first, our focus is on Houston. We're gonna do what we can to stay on track and find a spot to live. We've been looking for a place, but it's taking a little longer than we
Damn! Who knew they could play volleyball? Once again, I'm impressed by how much energy Gino and Nico are putting into getting better. It's surprising that they could do this all while and only waited till it was almost too late.
You know, adding more years to your life, and it's not like I'm going anywhere. I mean, we've been together like friends for 6 years. Like I trust love that we have for each other. Like I don't think this is gonna break us. I think it's gonna make us stronger. It just, I hope this year flies by fast.
Yeah.
She has to be the best woman ever. Gino has a conversation with his girlfriend about moving close to the dock and how he doesn't want it to break up their relationship. Being the sweet woman that she is, she tells him it's all right. As long as he is getting healthier, things are going to be okay.
Hey, Gina,
Hey, Doc.
how are you today?
Good, how are you?
Well, and look like you lost your weight and you're ready for the surgery.
I'm ready.
You ready? All right, super. All right, we get started in a few minutes, okay?
All right, Doc, thank you.
All right.
Apparently, Gino meets his target for his weight loss journey and is ready to be operated on. His cousin sadly didn't meet the cut, and he has to work harder to meet his target. Dr. Now says that Gino's surgery is a high-risk one because he is still over 500 pounds.
We successfully completed a gastric sleeve on Nico. So now he and Gino have an important tool that will help him stay on track. Over the next month, Nico will be on a liquid diet like Gino, and he should lose at least 30 pounds in that time.
Patrick may weigh 657 pounds, but he has one thing going for him: his marriage. His wife Amanda is his caregiver, and they have a great relationship, but she's also the one who indulges his food requests, which makes him so unhealthy, so it's kind of a mixed bag. Can he meet his target for weight loss surgery? I guess we'll see. His story begins like this.
When I wake up and see daylight, I'm surprised to still be alive.
Because my weight is killing me. When I first wake up, I pretty much dread it every day. I dread the first time I get up out of the bed, putting my weight on my legs.
Patrick still finds it difficult getting used to this life where he needs people to help him shower. 5 or 6 years ago, he did not need help, but his weight has grown almost exponentially since then.
I still try and do the things that I can do by myself. Now I'm so big.
My wife, Amanda, She has to help me do lots that she shouldn't have to help me do.
Having to be helped each day, to not be able to do anything on your own, is extremely devastating. Unfortunately, Patrick cannot help it. It's like being a child again. But if you eat without a care in the world like a child, that's probably where you could end up.
They're hurting him really, really bad. So I try to help him get up in the morning and do whatever needs to be done.
That has to do it all for me. She's got to put my socks on. She has to help me put my shorts on.
Which is just humiliating.
So, what does our man Patrick eat after showering? Let us see if that contributes at all to his present situation.
I have addiction to food.
Because nothing makes me feel as good as I do when I have food in my mouth.
Wow, that is a lot of food. Patrick knows that he is addicted to food. He says that this is partly genetic and because all his siblings are overweight. So in a way, maybe we cannot blame Patrick for being overweight. Anyway, Patrick is now on his way to see Dr. Now and see if he qualifies for weight loss surgery. Dr. Now has some pretty harsh questions for Patrick.
Think you're overweight like this.
Overeating? I eat too much.
You eat too much in one setting, or you eat too much all day?
I probably snack all day, but it's usually one big meal a day and then just snacking throughout the day.
Okay, that was funny, but it is also a bit sad because it shows quite clearly that Patrick's primary problems are his own doing. The baseball bat here is candy, and Patrick keeps smacking his head with it and still complains that it hurts. Well, it is going to hurt Patrick, but Dr. Now isn't done with his questions.
Amanda, do you work or you stay home with him?
I stay home.
You stay home. So you said chips and candy. Who buys those? Okay. So the family enables you and gets you what you want. And you just sit around eating and you say you don't know what to do to get better and lose weight?
To Dr. Now, the solution is fairly simple. To Patrick, it is the hardest thing in the world. Patrick says he needs help to stick with healthy eating, but how much help can Dr. Now realistically offer when it comes to that? Anyway, Dr. Now does his best and gives Patrick a lifeline.
But if you don't follow it, there's not much we can do for you, okay? All right, so I'm gonna give you some instruction what to eat, what not to eat. They're going to give you some instruction about exercise.
Well, it can be a very easy thing to do, Dr. Now, but it is a very hard thing for someone like Patrick to do. If he could simply follow a diet, he would not be on this show in the first place. Patrick did make some progress. He lost around 40 pounds. When he presented himself to Dr. Now, he was asked to lose another 100 pounds in the next 2 months.
Step up on the scale.
So that would put me at 516. That's not good.
So he lost a bit of weight, but instead of continuing on his journey, he went back and gained even more. You can already guess how Dr. Now will respond to this behavior.
How many hours did you have to drive?
About 11.
1 day or 2 days or what?
No, we just drive straight here.
Well, all that travel put a lot of strain on your body with your weight and your condition.
That is just it. The half-baked, half-good, quarter-sensible, and utterly pathetic excuses do not work. The problem was that our man Patrick was not eating right, and his excuses are simply not going to cut it.
Telling me you didn't follow the diet and you were sick, and why come in all the way to tell me that?
I don't know.
So what is your objective here? What do you expect that we can do for you?
But Patrick is not going to take all of this lying down. In fact, he becomes defensive and tells Dr. Now not to worry about doing any regular checkups for him, since there is nothing he can do about his weight.
But in the meantime, I don't have an answer for you. You have to figure that out. So we get the updated blood work on you, see how bad you're
We don't need to do all that. You have no answers for it.
Answer for what?
You said you have no answers for it.
Well, if Patrick was that tired, he would have followed the diet plan and not turned up to the hospital with even more added pounds. But Dr. Now's words seem to have had an effect. It is a new day, and Patrick has decided to do something that shows his seriousness about losing his weight and getting healthier.
This month I decided to join a gym so that I can get a trainer and push myself even harder. It's a little scary and intimidating to go out and do something like this.
All right, yep, so we're pushing. There you go.
There you go, good.
All the way down to mat. Now we're gonna lean backwards and come back.
The gym was great. His trainer was really proud of him and how hard he worked at their sessions. Patrick worked hard at the diet and exercising for about a month and then went to a local clinic to see where his weight was at. Let's see what the scale says.
Okay, go ahead and step up on the scale.
At my last appointment, I was at 642. Dr. Now told me that I need to lose at least 80 pounds over the last 2 months. So if I made it to that, I'll be at 562 today.
While Patrick did not meet his goal, he lost 51 pounds and got below the 600-pound mark. This meant there was a huge chance that Dr. Now would approve him for surgery. All that hard work finally paid off. When he spoke to Dr. Now, he was told to lose 30 more pounds within a month, but Patrick could not do that. He could only lose 1 more pound.
Well, if you eat what you're eating, you're going to be the same weight. So what's the point of coming to Houston if you're not doing what you need and losing more weight?
I don't know.
So what is your objective moving in Houston?
Get weight loss surgery, lose weight. That's my objective, to lose weight.
Essentially, Patrick needs to pump those numbers up. Dr. Now says that Patrick must start thinking that the weight will shorten his lifespan. The good news is that doctor schedules Patrick's surgery for a month from this meeting and says that if he loses those 30 pounds, he will go ahead with the surgery.
The pounds you should have to get surgery, you should be under 560 pounds. 563, so you lost 27 pounds, huh? All right, close enough. All right, we go ahead and do surgery, okay?
The surgery was successful, and Patrick finally got what he wanted after losing over 100 pounds in under a year. This means that with surgery and the same lifestyle changes, he could even start dreaming of living a normal life.
35 pounds. And after that, Patrick should lose 20 to 25 pounds each one until he gets close to his target weight. It took him a little longer, but he's down around 100 pounds.
Imagine how it feels to be scared of walking downstairs in your home because you're terrified you'll fall through the stairs. That's exactly how Serita lives her life. Today she is scared of falling through her home's staircase because she's too heavy, but tomorrow she could fall through the ground and find herself in a casket. She begins her journey like this.
I don't sleep well at night at all. I'm a night owl. I'm up constantly all night. I'm scared to sleep, if I could be honest about it. I'm scared that I'm not gonna wake up. I done had some health scares and...
She is not lying though. Her life is essentially an all-you-can-eat buffet of pain. She is so heavy that she is scared of falling through the floor. Her condition is so bad that she cannot stand long enough to have a shower every day, so she just takes a shower every other day.
So I tried not to depend on my family so much because sometimes they enable me a little too much. So I try to depend on myself before I ask for help. My husband does a lot.
At least she has a husband who cares for her. Her husband says he knows that food is a coping mechanism for her and a crutch she uses to deal with her condition, so he indulges her food requests. He may be feeding her to death, and that is the worst thing a man can do to his wife.
Go what you want. It's like peace and war. Do I want war or do I want peace? If I give in, I'll have peace. If I don't, it'll be a constant nagging about it.
Food fulfills me. It fulfills empty voids that...
Well, from the food she eats, we can see why Serita weighs 603 pounds. We all know that Dr. Now has a wicked tongue, but Serita hopes that this tongue does not lash her too much. But her hopes are in vain, because Dr. Now does not spare Serita at all.
When you eat food, do you feel comfort?
I do.
But do you feel guilty afterward?
Yes, I do.
So you have a cycle of going to food for comfort and eating what you know you shouldn't. So why haven't you made any changes to that cycle?
Earlier in the episode, Lawrence, Serita's husband, said that he mostly gives her the food she wants so that he can get peace. So what does Lawrence have to say about the claims that Serita bullies him so that he can feed her?
So what does he have to say about that? Am I right?
That's a good one.
Pretty much. He don't want to argue with you, right?
That's what it is.
After the meeting, Dr. Now suggests that Serita loses 60 pounds before she can get surgery. But does Serita lose weight needed to have that surgery? Does she look like someone who can do it? After 2 months, the results are in. She only lost 12 pounds.
What happened to the diet instruction we gave you? Did you read those papers?
I did.
How many times you read it?
I read it. Actually, I read it a couple times because I was showing...
A couple times. The deal was you read it every night.
Dr. Now gives her such a tongue lashing that she cannot help but cry about her weight and her efforts.
Be the solution for your problem. You know, instead of being 140, you're not 240, you're not 340, you're not 440, you're not 540, you're 591. So how long your body is going to tolerate all that extra weight that you're putting on there?
This means that it is back to the drawing board for Serita, and boy does she work hard at losing weight. She works so hard that by the time she gets back to old, good tongue-lashing Dr. Now, she's lost an incredible 59 pounds in total.
Well, it looked like you lost a little bit more weight this time.
Yes.
It isn't as much as it should be, but it is a good improvement, so I'm happy about that.
Before you get started, can I have your thing for a souvenir? I like the little jewelry.
What are you talking about?
She's trying to take your stethoscope.
Yeah, I'm trying to take that home with me.
Serita knows she has a long way to go, but somehow things got even worse for her. 4 months later, she'd gained 9 pounds instead of losing 25 pounds in 1 month. The horror, and she had such a promising future.
Back up a little bit. Okay, you think your weight isn't mostly about your eating habit?
I feel like I've been doing good
That's
habits.
not the question. Just stick with the question. Don't go off.
Okay.
So you think your weight has to do with your eating habit, correct?
Correct.
All things considered, that was not the worst tongue lashing we have ever seen from Dr. Now, but it still worked. Serita went to food therapy, did food journaling, and worked out, and by the end of the show, she'd lost a total of 97 pounds and now weighed 506 pounds, making her meet her target.
It's gonna be a hard work that you need to stick with it, okay? All right, so keep up with the therapy and keep up with your healthy eating habit, and we'll see how you're doing next 2 months.
Imagine food being the only thing that makes you stand up from the bed every day. Well, that's David's life summed up. David has gotten so fat that he gets stuck while trying to get out of his vehicle. Ridiculous, right? At this point, the only person who can save him is Dr. Now. This is how his weight loss journey begins.
That's when my weight really been taking its toll. I take muscle relaxers for my back. And then heavy prescription pain pills. Probably like 8 different pills. Everything is such a struggle. Just painful to move around right now.
Hell no. Did you guys see how hard and how long it took him to get up from the bed? At some point, I thought he was not going to be able to stand up. Jeez. David, what have you done to your body? Does he even get out of the house?
Getting dressed, the hardest thing I do all day. But I have my foster mom, Robin, to help me when I need help. If it wasn't for her, I would have given up on myself by now. Hey, Robin, can you help me put on my socks?
David is part of my family, and I claim him as a son. You about ready for breakfast?
Yeah.
Well, thank goodness she is in his life. Imagine if he did not have her, his life would honestly be a mess. He even said that there was a time he fell down and was able to lift himself up. Bro, I would hate myself if that happened to me.
Eat as much as I could when a meal was given to me, because sometimes you wouldn't know you're gonna get fed again for days. Around the time I was 3, I got placed with a permanent foster family, the Nelsons. So the Nelsons wanted to adopt me. So I got adopted at 6, but my dad was kind of a scary figure.
That explains why he eats a lot. David has always been in foster care. His foster parents would always beat him, and he hated his childhood. The only thing that made him happy as a child was food. Being that he also wasn't eating well, he ate a lot because he never knew when next he would see his next meal. That is just sad.
Living with Robin is the best environment in foster care I've ever dealt with. She took me in as one of her own. When she introduced me, she said, "This is my son, David." She was always there to help me with my homework, and I went down from about 350 down to 280 because she was making me go to the gym twice a day. And
that explains why his other foster parents kicked him out. Robin, his new foster mother, took him in and made him feel at home. She even helped him cut down some of his weight, but when he got into the university, everything went downhill. He started drinking and partying and adding more weight.
I wanted to see the United States, and I could afford to because when I was sleeping in my semi-truck, but at the same time, on an emotional level, but there's not a lot of things that brought me that much happiness. My weight built up to 800 pounds. And one day I woke up, I started thinking about suicide.
That must honestly be very sad. David says that he got depressed, and there was a time in his life that all he could think about was taking his own life. He had gotten so fat that he couldn't even do anything with himself. All he wanted to do was die. That must really suck.
And walking just a few feet, it's pretty painful.
All right, we'll stay out of the candy aisle. Don't be looking at the pizzas.
Get some eggnog.
That's not low-cal. I was nervous about going with David to the grocery store. It was good to get him out.
If we're being honest, David makes a lot of bad food choices. All he wants to eat is junk food and things that have very high calories, which aren't good for his health. He can't even walk 5 steps without taking a break. His mom needs to put a leash on his eating style.
Besides laying down, even sitting sometimes gets painful. My food problem is killing me by, weighing down my heart. And my back's already messed up. I live every day in despair. So it's time for me to...
I'm glad he knows this. He sleeps with oxygen because he has breathing problems, and he is scared that someday he might go to bed and not wake up the next morning. I think it's time for him to meet the doc. This has gone on for way too long. Unbelievable. Is he stuck? My goodness. David finally decides to make his way by to Houston, where he is going to meet Dr. Now. It's a long drive, so he decides to break the journey. Guess what? He can't get out of the vehicle.
Try that. It's gotta help.
It's been a little while since I weighed myself, and I know I've gotten worse since then. I just hope that I'm in the 600s. Ready?
You can step up on the scale. Your weight is 763.
Wow, he weighs 763 pounds? Damn, that is a lot. David was hoping that he wouldn't weigh more than 600 pounds, but sadly, his weight is way more than that. Slimming down from 763 pounds is not going to be easy. But first, let's see what Dr. Now has to say.
Days.
Yeah.
So, that's a big trip and it's going to take a toll on your body going back and forth.
Right.
So it's going to be important you move down here, okay?
Yeah, that's the plan.
Well, I'm glad Dr. Now wants to help him. He tells David to lose 80 pounds in 2 months so he can meet the target weight for his weight loss surgery. Will he be able to meet the cut? I guess we're going to see. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you got to where you needed to be mentally to start making the changes you need. So that's good. And I'm glad you lost 67 pounds.
Thanks,
But
man.
that's a starting point. But with your progress, this is what I will do.
Good one, David. After working hard to meet his target weight, he falls short, but just by a few pounds. Dr. Now tells him to move down to Houston, and if he is able to lose 30 pounds in a month, he is going to get his surgery done. David is doing really well, and it's impressive to see him work towards being better.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
And I guess I'll just have to get back on track and lose the weight.
Yeah?
Yep.
You feeling pretty good about it?
Yeah, I mean, I've done it before. I can do it again, so I'll do it.
Okay, well, I'm sure the doctor will be coming in soon and we'll...
Oh, come on. David was doing so well, and now he goes on to add more weight, making Dr. Now cancel the weight loss surgery. Men, that's really disappointing for real. Let's hope he can work hard once again to meet his target and have this surgery done once and for all.
Have a seat right over there.
All right. Okay. Oh, man, what?
Welcome.
Seeing that David was still finding it difficult to meet his target, Dr. Now suggested that he go see a therapist, and maybe that would help with his ability to cut down his weight. So far, it seems like David has a lot bottled up in his heart. Would this be enough for him to get surgery?
And because of your progress, I'm going to give you an easy goal this time. This time I want you to lose 45 pounds in 2 months. And if you do that, I'm going to approve you for weight loss surgery. You think you can do that?